Hey, Hades Omega here, and welcome to another Hades Omega show and tell parts video for Sur-on Lightbee. Alright, well, you could probably install this part on any bike that has like a downhill mountain bike fork that has a direct mount mounting holes for like the handlebars. Okay, so this is the what I got in here in these little baggies is the Canitu direct handlebar mount. All right, so these will mount the handlebar directly to the upper clamps or crowns on a fork. All right, for like mountain bikes. All right, but more specifically for a Sur-on Lightbee. All right, that's what it's marketed for. Okay, they come in two colors, black and red. I got the red ones, and we'll go unbox it and go over all the parts, and then we'll install it on the bike. I don't think I can fully install it on the bike because I'm using a motorcycle handlebar instead. I'm using a fast flex bar. So, but I have my old mountain bike handlebar, and we'll install that temporarily, and so you guys can get an idea what it looks like and stuff. Okay, so let's go take a closer look at this part. Okay, so these are the parts for the handlebar mount. You can purchase it on Amazon from the Canitu store, and yes, they provided me a sample here for you to make a video. So here it is, and they're $70. All right, like I mentioned, you can get them in black or red. They're CNC aluminum, so they're super duper strong and super duper light. Okay, so it comes in 4 pieces. When you get it, I guess there's a top clamp and then the 2 bottom clamps. Okay, you might be able to, just install it backwards too, if you want, depending on where you want the handlebars. Okay, and then it comes with a pack of fasteners. All right, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bolts. Okay, I'm assuming 4 for the bottom clamps and 4 for the top clamp. Okay, so yeah, so there it is. So I think you're gonna need this only install with mountain bike handlebars. It doesn't come with any kind of shims or anything to adapt it to other handlebars. So we'll see. I'll get it on my bike, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's installed. All right. Okay, so there's 4 longer bolts and 4 smaller bolts. I believe the longer ones go to the clamp, all right, or the crown, and then the smaller ones go on the top clamp. That's my guess. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. So when you install this, one thing you're gonna have to do, if you have like the stem that mounts to the if you have the handlebar stem that mounts to the steering stem, you're gonna have to ditch that. Okay, so you're gonna have to ditch that, and you're gonna have to do this. All right, see how there's spacers here, right? Enough spacers to adjust the headset. You need to do that. Okay, so that's what you got to do with the direct mount. It doesn't mount to the stem; it mounts directly to the fork. Okay, so that's this handlebar stem does not come with these spacers, so you're going to have to acquire them. All right, you should have them already. I mean, if you've already installed a stem mount. All right, so yeah, so mine has 3 kind of longish ones. All right, I think they're like about 1 inch long. All right, and that allows me to be able to adjust the headset. All right, and so this will be independent. The stem will not mount to this anymore. Okay, the stem will be mounting to the crown. Okay, so I'll go ahead and install it, and you guys can see what it looks like. All right, ta-da! There you go, guys. There's the Canitu direct handlebar mount. It's installed on a Manitou Dorado fork. Okay, so if you have a Dorado fork, this should work. All right, it should work for most mountain bike forks, is what I'm gonna say. All right, it looks like in the picture on the Amazon webpage, they used a looked like a RST fork. Okay, so, but yeah, if it's there, fine. So what I found out is that you need to use the smaller bolts. All right, there's 2 sets of bolts. There's one that's smaller and one that's longer. All right, there's 4 bolts in two sets. There's a longer set and a short set. Okay, the longer bolts go on the top, the shorter bolts go on the bottom. Okay, and then like I mentioned, so if you're converting from a stem mount to a direct mount, you're going to need to have spacers. Okay, so you're going to have to install spacers on your stem, just like I have here. Okay, and yeah, and then so they don't give you the shims to use a motorcycle handlebar, all right, because I'm running the Fast Flex bars on my bike, so that's why I had to bust out my old mountain bike handlebar. So if you do want to use a motorcycle handlebar, you're probably going to have to get a shim like this, all right, like this that I have right here for my other mount. Okay, but yeah, there you go. It looks good. I measured it. It's about a 1 1/4 inch rise from the top of the stem, all right, or the top of the clamp or crown, and it's a 1 3/4 forward. Okay, so you're gonna go forward 1 3/4 from the stem, all right, the center of the stem. That's where I measured it from, guys. And then from the bottom of the from the top of the crown is 1 3/4. Okay, so pretty close to like 2 inch rise and 2 inch forward. All right. Now, could you put it backwards and have it go back instead of forward? Probably you could if you wanted to. All right, but I decided that if I was to install this on my bike, I would want the clamp to be in the forward position. Okay, pretty cool. So what I did was I installed it. I installed one side at a time, but I didn't tighten it all the way. All right, and make sure you're using the shorter bolts for the bottom. And then you put the and then I left it loose a little bit. All right, I didn't tighten it all the way. And then I put the handlebar in the clamp. All right, and then put the top clamp on, and then you put all the bolts in, and then you just start tightening everything a little bit at a time. Okay, till it's tight. Okay, let's see, I can move it just fine. All right, yeah, the way they give it to you, you can't use a motorcycle handlebar, unfortunately. Okay, but you can use a mountain bike. If you're using a mountain bike handlebar, it should work just fine. Okay, guys. Here's a little close up. Okay. Pretty sweet. Looks good. The anodizing and the CNC and everything look great. And I do like that red color. It is bling bling. Okay, and so they did not give you a torque spec. Sometimes on these stems they list what the torque specs are, even the Warp 9 ones don't. I would say use 11 Newton meters, right? That's what I'm going to use. 11 Newton meters is what the Dorado fork uses, okay, for a lot of its fasteners. So I'm going to go torque them down to 11 Newton meters, okay? And it uses a 4mm Allen wrench. The top mount I would do a little bit at a time. Well, I would just do these pairs. Okay, oh, I gotta finish tightening these top ones. The top one you're gonna have to use a longer Allen wrench. Okay, and we're done installing it. All right, so if I was gonna install it on the bike, that's how I would do it. Okay, torque it to about 10 or 11 Newton meters. Okay, and so that's the show and tell for the Canitu direct mount handlebar mount. They say it's for Sur-Ron Light B, but you can use it for any mountain bike fork. All right, but we're installing it on my Sur-Ron Light B. Okay, and so yeah, just so you know, and once again, you gotta add spacers to your stem. All right, because you're gonna take the stem mount off, and then you're gonna need to. This only works with a mountain bike handlebar the way they send it to you. Okay, if you wanted to use a motorcycle handlebar like this one right here, you would need a shim like this. Okay, so you would have to put a shim in there, and then you could probably use a motorcycle handlebar. Okay, so another thing I wanted to mention is this is one half of the mounts right here. There's two sets of holes in it. All right, so there's a one set that goes that'll move the handlebar clamp forward, and one that'll move it backwards. Okay, so you can choose. Do you want it to be more forward or more backwards? All right, so there's two positions you can put it in. It's pretty nice. I like it. Okay, so that's how it is. And then so yeah, it's kind of like a peanut shaped hole, sort of. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay, so yeah, you got a decision whether you want to mount it more forward or more backward. I mounted it more forward. Okay, but you can mount it backwards. I would say maybe like 5 millimeters, maybe 3 to 5 millimeters, something like that. That's how much it'll shift forward or backwards. Okay, thanks for watching. I will have the link in the description of the video if you would like to order one of these from Amazon. All right, at the Canitu store. And like I mentioned, they're $70. You can also get them in black as well. Okay, but I like the red. It's more bling bling. That's what I say. Okay, it's CNC, and this particular one is anodized aluminum. All right, and they're $70. That's the show and tell. Thanks for watching. Here's Miguel.